What's going on, everybody? In the YTBC, LDBC, MOBC, and ASBC. And shout out to B&B Sports, H Money, Wood the Guard, all the people over there. Just gonna do a quick video, man. Post fight, just left the gym. Got a couple of rounds in, biceps, triceps. Quick review of Lara versus Hurd. The fight kind of played out exactly how I thought it would. I thought Hurd would break him down. I did think Hurd would have broke him down a little bit earlier. But I was really shocked that Lara stayed in the pocket the way he did. Seeing that Lara had some pop, but I thought if he was to stay in the pocket like that, he would need to land something big. And he was landing some big shots, but I don't think it was any kind of shots that actually deterred Hurd from coming forward. I was thinking about this the other day too. Hurd and Spence almost fight sort of like Golovkin. If you see Hurd last night, he was almost, he'll take a shot to get one. You know what I mean? Hurd's going to have an issue with that when he moves up in weight. And he fights guys 160, but he's a big guy for 154. And you could just see the size advantage he had over Lara and the body shots he was landing on Lara. Now, Lara was coming back with some good right hands, good left hands. He was coming back with some good counter shots. But inside the pocket, Lara's work wasn't good enough. And Hurd was only throwing a few basic punches. He was showing that he was throwing that left hook to the body. He was throwing multiple right-hand uppercuts in the pocket. I mean, he was throwing multiple right-hand uppercuts. I think Hurd could have made the fight a lot easier if he would have fought behind his jab coming in. He maybe wouldn't have got caught with some of those shots coming in. As you can see later on the fight, he started to impose his jab. And that was snapping Lara's head back. So for him, if he would have jabbed and then came inside instead of just coming inside with his head first, he probably would have took a lot less punishment, in my opinion. But I got to give Lara his props. Lara didn't, and some people say run, I say movement. Lara didn't use a lot of movement, but I think that was because of the body shots. Those left hands to the body were vicious. And he landed a lot of left hooks to the body. I wish he would have doubled up on those left hooks to the body, to be honest. Sorry, man, trying to get some hydration. Overall, it was a great fight, though. I do think Lara should have moved more. Because standing in the pocket, like I said, he was getting caught with those left hooks to the body. And that was the punch, I think, that was the most important punch in the fight, was the body work early from Hurd. And he was consistently throwing that left hook to the body. It wasn't flashy, but you could hear every time it landed. And it was taking the steam out of Lara. I wish Running Shields would have told Lara to use more movement. I do think Lara could have pop shot it, sort of the way he fought Canelo. But Hurd did do a pretty good job of cutting off the ring. And I'm not sure how much of an amateur background Hurd has, but he does a really good job of cutting off the ring. He definitely needs more head movement. But I do think he can take a punch. I do think if he fights Charlo, I'm not sure Charlo has the heart to take that beating like Lara took last night. I mean, to beat Hurd, you're going to have to be able to give it and take it for 12 rounds, because Hurd can take it. I mean, he was taking some big shots from Lara. I mean, he was taking some big shots. And I think if Charlo lands his big shots and they don't affect Hurd, I think he may get discouraged, and I think he may break Charlo down. I'm not sure Charlo can take that body work that Lara took last night. I'm not sure. That's just my opinion. Early fight prediction. I'm not sure that fight's going to happen next, to be honest. I think Hurd may take an easy fight. Charlo's got a fight coming up in June, I think. So that fight will probably be late on in the year, if it happens this year. But it'll be a good fight. Lara, I'm not sure where he goes from here, because that was and most people don't think of it, that was a beating he took last night. I mean, he took a beating from a really big physical individual. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure where he goes from here at 154. I mean, he could try to go fight Saddam Ali or Kell Brook or somebody like that, and I think he'll have a good shot in those fights. Um, I do think he'll have a better shot against Charlo than he had against Hurd. I think that style of Hurd, I think that style of Hurd would have looked the way would have looked just like Triple G versus Lara would have looked. Triple G would have cut the ring off, worked the body, and then Lara wouldn't have had enough power to keep him at bay. And I think Triple G would have ended up stopping him eventually. That's just my opinion. I do think Triple G he will use his jab more than Hurd used his jab last night. But Triple G doesn't have the reach that Hurd had. Hurd has some really long arms. I'm not sure how that guy makes 154. I mean, that dude looks like at least he looked bigger than James DeGale last night. James DeGale fighting in 168. That's a big kid, man. Charlo's got a fight on his hands with that kid. If that kid could ever if Hurd ever, and he showed last night some good movement. I mean, he showed some good lateral movement. He showed some good head movement, but it's not consistent enough. He kind of comes in with his head straight up in a straight line, and that's how Lara was catching him with that left hand counter. There was a straight left hand he kept catching him with. And he did say Lara buzzed him a couple times, but I don't think it was anything that kind of stopped the kid. That kid, you're going to have to actually get inside and outwork him. And I'm not sure anybody at 154 has the inside game to deal with the size, the body punching. If he uses his jab, he will be dominant. If he fought behind his jab and then came inside, he would be dominant. I think he stops Kell Brook easy. I think he stops Saddam Ali easy. I think Saddam Ali is actually a 147 pounder. In my opinion, I think Saddam Ali is a 147 pounder. But he got that belt from Cotto, so we'll see where he goes from here. But other than that, you had the James DeGale fight. I thought DeGale won the fight. A lot of headbutting. Truex was cut on both eyes. DeGale was cut. Truex couldn't really land anything big or significant in the fight. He smothered his work a lot to me. DeGale did good. DeGale to me, DeGale's good. I'm not sure DeGale is an elite fighter the way we used to consider James DeGale. Looking at it now, if him and Triple G would have fought back then, I think Triple G would have probably stopped James DeGale. But that's just my opinion. Other than that, it was a great night of boxing. Great night of boxing. I stayed up. I usually go to bed pretty early. I stayed up till almost 1 o'clock Central Time watching that fight. That was one of the fights that I wanted to see. And Lara should be proud of his performance. Also, I didn't see Lara doing any interviews after the fight. I think that Charlo maybe broke his orbital bone in that 12th round because the way he kept pawing at his eye, I think he might have broke his orbital bone in the 12th round. Not for sure on that, but we didn't see Lara after the fight at all, so I'm sure he went to the hospital. That was a brutal beating. That was a brutal war. That was a war. That was a war. I mean, that was in a phone booth, in the phone booth, mano a mano, in the pocket fight, and I'm shocked Lara fought that way. And I think he may have took some years off his career last night, to be honest. I'm not sure if his legs are shot, but I'm shocked he didn't use more lateral movement and fighting spurts. I mean, you can fight inside a little bit, but get inside, land your shots, bag out, circle the ring, pop shot, come inside, land your shots. That was the best way he could have fought to win the fight. Instead, he chose to stand toe-to-toe with a big guy, and you see what happened. He lost the fight. I actually had Hurd up by, I think I had Hurd up by 2 rounds, I think. But it's a pretty close fight. I can see how you can see it either way. Lara was landing in some of the trades, the more effective punches. But I think Hurd was consistent, and he was there, and he was always touching Lara. To the body, to the head, to the body, to the head. I mean, it was a constant body-head attack. And I thought that won the fight for him over Lara's just, one punch here, one punch here. I think Hurd was a lot more consistent. So that's all I wanted to do, man. Just do a quick video on that. Great night of boxing. If you can, like, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section.